Good afternoon, Sun Devils. Trent Sinetto's here, senior health educator. Excited to chat with you all today on the Instagram live feed. Joined by a great friend of mine. I'll allow them to introduce themselves.
I'm Tiara. I'm the senior program coordinator for the Center for Mindfulness, Compassion, and Resilience.
Awesome, and welcome to the stream.
Thank you.
Today we're going to be talking about health education and specifically and more importantly mindfulness and how that might play into your role once you arrive to ASU. Before we dive in, I just want to give you a couple of reminders. This is definitely a Q&A session, so if you have questions at any point, feel free to type them in on the stream, and we have a moderator here who will be filming and posing those questions as they come in. And then if there are questions that you want to ask later, you can feel free to find us on Facebook or hit us in the DMs as well. So without further ado, we can jump right in. So,
sounds great.
Tiara, tell me a little bit about what is mindfulness?
Mindfulness is paying attention to each present moment with intention. It's really taking yourself out of the busy day-to-days and anchoring yourself in what's happening right now.
I think that's a great definition. I think, right, particularly speaking to our first year students, right, who come in, maybe this is their first time away from home, maybe they're trying to make connections and find friends, they're trying to figure out where the residence hall is, where they're going to be involved with. Do you think that's definitely something that they can find benefit in?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Mindfulness is not just for one particular person. It is multi-generational, dynamic, multi-age, whoever and whomever can practice mindfulness. And one of the things that we're really trying to promote here on ASU's campus is really getting students involved in our programming for mindfulness, which is a great way to meet friends who are like-minded, who are probably as stressed out as you are, and are coming into this space trying to figure out how to navigate ASU life. So a couple ways that we're doing that: we have pop-ups on campus, on all 4 campuses actually. We have programming in each of our meditation rooms, and so be looking out for that when you come in the fall. We have workshops, which students usually get a free pass to, so we gift those to our students. A couple of them that we have coming up are like Clothe and Compassion for Valentine's Day next semester. We have Holiday Stress Less, so that'll happen in the fall, around Thanksgiving. Just literally trying to figure out how we can all really be present in the moment and use that to build more resilience. So
that's awesome. That is definitely a great explanation and tying us through and walking us through that. I know some conversations I've had with students as we prepared for this stream is, I think there's a misconception around mindfulness is only directly tied to meditating, right? But yeah. I know you guys do so much more than that. Can you dive a little bit deeper into those things for me?
Yeah, absolutely. I know that there is that misconception. And if you could think of mindfulness more as the big umbrella and meditation being one avenue to really practice mindfulness, that's one of the best ways to put it. Meditation itself is a great tool. I meditate every day. It's a part of my lifestyle. But there are other ways that you can practice mindfulness. And really those ways just depend on what's more convenient and easier for you. So we have mindful eating, which, we all eat. We have to in order to sustain ourselves. Right. So while you're eating, really taking the time to chew and really feel the food in your mouth, to smell the food, to really just be there with your food as you're eating it. And then there's just day-to-days that we can do. Mindful walking, when you're walking from class to class or building to building, really just paying attention to each step as your foot lifts up off the ground and goes back down on the ground. So really just being anchored by the foot, by the walking. Brushing your teeth in the morning. You can be mindful by brushing your teeth while feeding your cats. I have 2 of them, so I have to be mindful in that moment because they're yelling at me. So I really need to make sure that I'm present and anchored. But it can be practiced really anywhere at any time.
That's awesome. I mean, one thing that really resonated with me is mindful eating. I'm aware that I eat my food really fast. Yeah. My friends are always like, "Did you taste your food?" Not really. I know it was good. We're moving on. So that's definitely helpful, and I do appreciate those tips. I think there's definitely some valuable information in that.
Thank you.
So tell me a little bit more, tell us a little bit more about the benefits. Is it helping us be stress less? Does it have any physical benefits that you might see? Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing that we state is that mindfulness is a tool for a lot of different things, but it's not just targeted for stress, right? If that makes sense. So it can absolutely decrease stress, which is why we're doing it, is because practicing mindfulness really gets you the opportunity to evaluate your stress in a different way. But really it helps with so many things. There's so many benefits. Physically, lowers your heart rate, right? It helps you to think a lot more clearly. There's so many benefits physically, but emotionally, you know, like we said, you are less stressed, less anxiety, less depression, less reactive. So instead of reacting to an angry email or an angry person, you take the time, the space in between that moment of reaction to really consider what your next move should be. So wide variety of ways that mindfulness can help. And honestly, if you're considering practicing it for a particular reason, I'm open for you to ask me how it can help. And that's one of the reasons why we're here, is to really educate students on how mindfulness can really impact them on a day-to-day basis.
That's awesome. And you said they can contact you. What's the best way to reach you?
Probably by email is the best way. My email is tiara.cash@asu.edu. So tiara@asu.edu. And anytime, you know, I'm always open to answering any questions students have.
Hey, do you guys have a following on social media? Is there a way they can connect with you all there as well?
Yes. We have a Facebook page. It's ASU Mindfulness, Center for Mindfulness, Compassion, and Resilience. So if you search in the search box ASU Center for Mindfulness, it'll pop up. We have to approve you, but we approve everybody. So just click on the link, we'll approve you. We also have an Instagram page, and that's also at ASU Center for Mindfulness. And there we post a lot of things that we're doing. It's really student-centric. So we try to talk about pop-ups that we're having, any partnerships or workshops that we're leading. All that stuff will be posted on our Instagram page.
So I know ASU is #1 in innovation, and recently we were just named one of the 7 healthiest college campuses and universities in the nation.
Yes.
Definitely something that we are proud of, right?
Yes.
And I know ASU is also one of the first institutions to have a center for mindfulness. What was some of the motivation behind creating this space and aiding in student retention and support?
That's great. It's a great question. So the students actually came to Dr. Crow a while ago and told him that, we really want someone and somewhere focused specifically on well-being. With being #1 in innovation, that causes a lot of burnout. With us being one of the greatest research institutions, that causes a lot of burnout as well. And so we were trying to find a way for them to really, really be well while in this space. So in response to that, Dr. Crow appointed Dr. Pipe, Tiara Pipe, who was the Dean of College and, the Dean of Nursing and Health Innovation, to ASU's Chief Wellbeing Officer. And so we are her vehicle, Center's her vehicle, to really spread mindful practice to help students be a little bit more well. And the thing is, and I'll tell you kind of a personal story. So I was a student athlete when I was in college, and I suffered a career-ending injury. And honestly, so I've been practicing mindfulness for a very long time in my life. And if I didn't have the tools from mindfulness to help me through that transition, I would have never been able to finish my degree and, graduate summa cum laude. Like, that wouldn't have been even a thought. But because I had the tools to be able to be a little bit less stressed, to understand that transitions are a part of life, to really be resilient through all the situations that were happening, with me at the time, I was able to really finish strong and finish well. And so that's what we want to teach each and every one of our students. No matter where they come from, these tools really can help you live a better life.
Awesome.
Long term.
That's definitely awesome. And thank you for sharing that story.
Yeah.
Definitely something I've heard, and it touches me all the time. And so I'm glad that you shared that, because I think that so many people can relate. So you mentioned that you are student focused and we try to be student centered. I think that's definitely something that ASU does really well. You have ideas, thoughts, you share that with pro staff, faculty. We're definitely trying to create programs that are tailored towards your vision, because that's what we do here. I know just recently, may have been March or April, you did a conference around mindfulness, and we had a lot of student buy-in and input and attendance. Can you talk a little bit about some of those highlights and What were some of the takeaways from people who attended that?
Absolutely, absolutely. This conference was nothing like a lot of people have ever experienced in their life, because it was really an active conference. We actually called it interactive. We called it interactive. And the reason why we did that was because we wanted people to understand that what they were taking away from this conference was tangible skills and connections that they can use throughout their lifetime without having to sit in a chair and listen to someone speak for 2 days. So we really tried to build a curriculum for this conference around that understanding. We had Dr. Biri Curzon come, who is he's a monk, he's a Buddhist monk, but he is a lead in altruism in medicine. And basically that just means really being kind and compassionate and wholehearted without expecting something in return. So we talked a lot about how altruism in medicine is important, and we translate that to how it works for students as well. Being kind and compassionate and wholehearted in these settings helps as well. So that was a big takeaway. We had some 2 very good speakers on mindful eating, which was really nice. We had a lot of practice where we did Tai Chi, where we did breathing meditations, where we had a lot of our students come in and talk about their own experiences. And so one of the big takeaways that we got was that it was the right amount of, this is what mindfulness is, this is how you can practice, but also hearing from the students, because a lot of our speakers were students, which was really important to us. And one of the things that, again, we wanted to do was make sure that students could come for free. So we sent out a link for our students to apply for scholarships and to come, and they ended up doing that and enjoying it as well. So
that's awesome. I was in attendance, it was phenomenal. Great 2 days, a lot of different things. I learned a lot, and definitely, is that something you guys are going to be hosting again in the future?
Yes.
Absolutely. You don't want to miss it the next time around. I'm going to tell you that now. Just put that in the back of your brain once you all get here. So shifting gears again, because that's what I like to do.
No worries, I'm with it.
Student-led programs, you say you're looking for students to come in and work with you. What are some of the examples and programs that the students have already started putting together just in the last year?
That's a great question. We're working right now with some online programming for students so that's one of our really big target areas, is trying to bring this to everybody. So our student intern and our management intern have been working together on trying to create programming for online students. We have a student coordinator, Hannah, and she is phenomenal. She's been going to so many different organizations just to partner and talk about how we can really, really do activities and programming around mindfulness, and how that can enhance other people's programming that they already have on campus. So we've been doing that. We've worked with Yes Plus. We've worked with a lot of different groups just to make sure that we elevate what's already going on around mindfulness and well-being, and really sneak ourselves in. So yeah, we're always looking for student volunteers, for people who just really want to know more, and we'll be taking applications for interns. We're really trying to expand our student base, and so like I said, we started out more so with pop-ups, more so with just workshops and things geared towards certain students and certain student groups and departments. They would just email us and say, hey, we want to have a 30-minute session where you come and talk about mindfulness and do some practices, and we'll do that. And if you guys are looking for any of that for any of your dorms or any of your student orgs, please email us. And the email is mindfulness@asu.edu, and we will make sure that we contact you and see what we can do to help with that. But we're always looking for spaces to really bring mindfulness in for students.
You got a question?
Yes, from Abby. Are they going to have the mindfulness conference again next year?
Yes, we are going to have it next year. The date is forthcoming, so we'll let you know very soon when it comes. But it's going to be an annual conference, so we'll have it again next year.
Appreciate that question, Abby. Yeah, absolutely. So then let's talk a little bit about. I arrived to ASU, I'm watching this stream, I want to become more mindful. What are some things I can do today?
I love that, yes.
What can I do today to become more mindful?
I love that. Okay, well, first of all, there are a lot of really great apps out there to help you on your journey. One of the ones that I personally use is Eternal Sunshine by Lundrell, and I like to say it's urban, which I like because it gives me like a beat behind my meditation sometimes. There's mantras that, he sends out every day that says, today's your mantra is this. Mindfulness talks, meditations. So easy way for you to take a break and just use an app. There's Headspace, that's one of the ones as well. Insight Timer, which tells you how many people are meditating around the world at the same time, where you just, I know, right? Isn't that crazy? Isn't that insane? So whoever uses Insight Timer, it tells you like there are 575 people meditating at this exact moment for 10 minutes. Like it's beautiful because it gives you that connection. So apps are a really great way for you to just start this right now. Again, another way for you to do it is to anchor yourself in whatever you're doing at the time. So if you haven't really learned the skills of mindfulness yet, because it is a skill base, and that's why we say it's a practice, you have to come in to it kind of with an open mind and then receive, some of the instructions for you to be able to take it back and do it well, right, for yourself. But just taking a moment to really be right here, right now, where you are, whether that be when you're outside and you're looking at nature, just taking all that in. Like we talked about with eating. And I actually have a video online at ASU and on our website that's mindful eating that is 30 seconds and takes you through this really nice mindful eating practice. So there's so many resources for you to be able to do for, however long you need to do it before you come and meet us. And we can help you get even better.
Awesome. So move-in is around the corner.
Yes.
Is there anything that you all are working on to connect with parents or answer questions for parents, or any messages we want to send to parents that might that they can trickle down to their students?
Great question. One of the things, right?
Sorry.
Well, one of the things that we are working on right now, actually partnering with the SDFC and Student Center Downtown, is Welcome Week.
Mm-hmm.
And so creating some sort of programming around Welcome Week to really get students involved early on in the process. We also have added to the tours just a quick blurb of the mindfulness spaces on all of our campuses so that people understand where they are, what they're for. And again, this is like cross cultural, it's interfaith, like the space is just meant for you to come and have a really quiet place to reflect in whatever way is good for you to reflect. And so really just, if I were talking to a parent, I'd say to have their students just keep their ears open and have an open mind for when they hear something about the Center for Mindfulness, and just come and participate in whatever we have and see if they like it. And if they don't, really, we can find something that they do like that still reflects the practice. And so just trying it out, seeing if you like it.
I think that engagement piece is really important.
Yeah.
I think one thing we talked about on the last stream a couple of weeks ago was ASU has something for you.
Yes,
right? There is
yes.
a place for you here, whatever it may be. We will help you find it. And the great thing about it is if we don't have what you're looking for, we'll create it and help you create it. So then that way you can have that connection.
Absolutely.
So I think that's definitely helpful. Definitely a great message for our parents. What about to our students? Anything you resemble that too?
Same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, just come and experience as much as you can experience. We are currently in the process of really trying to evaluate, what our students need in terms of mindfulness and how it helps. But we know for a fact it does, right? Like we know science shows, and again, if you're looking for resources behind that, go on our website. You'll see plenty of resources that link it back to the science behind mindfulness. It really does show that it helps. So if we know that, it helps, then why not try it and see if it works? One of the things that we're going to be doing in the fall as well is Koru. And so it is a 4-week program for emerging adults, so our college students, that literally just teaches them the practices of mindfulness. And the way that you practice is 10 minutes a day, so it's a great amount. It's not, too heavy of a
Not
load,
time-consuming at all.
right?
Yeah.
Like everyone can take that 10 minutes, even if it's before bed or right when you wake up, to really just practice. And so we're going to be doing that this fall as well. So look out for those classes. It's a really great way to get started, but just come and experience with us, and we'll support, whatever your vision is and whatever you need. We're here for that.
So I think we're getting pretty close to time.
All right.
I want to thank you personally just for joining us today,
Thank you.
sharing a lot of great information about how students can connect with the Center for Mindfulness, Compassion, and Resilience. Nailed it. And on behalf of Sun Devil Fitness and the rest of ASU, we want to thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you again in 2 weeks.
All right.